Good morning, everyone. This is the Secretary of State's office, and this short video has been created to help committee treasurers or candidates understand how to use the campaign finance reporting system. And beyond that, we'll also go in and file a pre-general report so you all can see how that works as well before you actually file yours. The website for the campaign finance reporting system is sdcfr.sdsos.gov. Right here in the upper left, you can see that. We do not recommend trying to view or file reports within the campaign finance reporting system on a mobile device. It was not created for that to be the best way to do it. A desktop computer, laptop, maybe a larger tablet would be okay too in order to file your reports. As you're viewing this video, if you need, it's hard to know sometimes if it's going to be really small on some screens that folks are using. You can go up, we use Chrome, so you can go up to the upper right if you have Chrome and zoom in, and that will help you be able to see the video a little bit better if it's small on your side of things. Okay, so once you get to the website, this is what you'll see, and it's what we tend to refer to as the home page of the campaign finance reporting system. You will need to go to this button that says committees log in here, and you will enter your username and password. If you do not know your username, you can contact our office and we will be able to give that to you. But we do not have passwords. We cannot see your password. We don't have access to a database of passwords. So if you don't know your password, you will have to come down here and do forgot password. Now the key to this is that a password reset email will be sent, but that reset email will go to the treasurer's email we have on file. If that individual is no longer the treasurer and you aren't in close contact with them to have them forward that email to you, we will have to assist you by doing a administrative reset where we can go in on our side of things and force an email to be sent with a generic password to your new treasurer or whomever you want that set to. So once you have your username and password, you get those entered and you hit login here. Okay, and now so we aren't making changes in the live site. I am actually going to move over to our test site where I can log in because I've created a fake committee. So this is what you would do on the live site. Put your username in and your password. And you can show your password just to make sure you've typed it correctly, or you cannot show it. It's up to you how you want to do that. And then you hit login. Okay, so once you get here, this is your committee page. This is how your page will look. Not everybody's page is going to look the same. You should have your committee name up here in the upper left. So if you're ever trying to file a report and this up here says welcome guest, you have not logged into your committee. Those of you that are treasurers for multiple committees, you will want to make sure that in the upper left you've logged into the correct committee that you want to be working with at that time. And then this information down here is exclusive to your committee. So if you're a legislative committee, it's going to say legislative candidate committee. Or if you're a PAC, it's going to say political action committee. Your current balance is going to be based upon your last filing and the balance you had of your last filing. Now, I'm a new committee, so I haven't made any filings yet, so that is why it says 0. And there's various other links here. You can look and see what the contribution limit document is, who files and the deadlines. You can look at supplemental reports, various things like that. Don't be afraid to get in here and just click on some of these things to become, so you can become familiar with them. Okay, so another reminder too is if you're not seeing something on your screen, always scroll down. There's always probably going to be additional information below just what you can initially see on the screen. So you have these green buttons on the left-hand side, all with various things in them if you click on them. So if you know that you need to make some changes to your statement of organization, whether it's a mailing address or a phone number change, an email address change, a treasurer's name change, this is where you need to go to do that. It's very simple. Click on the edit statement of org. You come down here and you click on the button, and it's going to open a web form where you can make changes. You will, well, I'll get to that in just a second. I'll show you on how that's tied into the disclosure report. Under your filed documents, you can see all the reports or filings that you've done. Now, since I'm new, I just have one, and this is just the statement of organization that I've filed so far. You are able to click on the little arrow here, and if you click on the the committee name, it's actually a link to the PDF of your statement of organization. So you can click on that and view what you have filed. If you need to print it for some reason, you can print that as well. So in this case, since on my computer it didn't open as a separate window, I'm going to want a back arrow to get back to my committee page. Some of you, it may open in a separate window, and in that case, you could just hit the X to close it. You can also see all of them, whether it's disclosures, supplemental reports, or uploaded documents. They'll all have very similar information as this grid here. So in this case, you can see what kind of committee you are in case for some reason you forgot. And it shows the chairperson's name, the treasurer's name, the date that you submitted the report, and then the date that we approve the report. So when we do get these report filings of any sort or statement of organizations, we look at them as fast as we can, and we work to get them approved right away, or we return them to you if there are things missing or we have questions on your report. For filed disclosures, these are reports that are filed within the campaign finance system. They're filed online. You'll see all of those listed here. If you don't see a filing up here in this section, then perhaps it's down here under uploaded documents because it was filed on paper, and then we just upload it directly to your committee page. You will see that information down here. Okay, so the next thing we can look at is if you make a filing and we have some questions on it, or we see some blanks that need to be filled in, we will return it to you. You will receive an email. Your treasurer will receive an email that will explain what was returned and why it was returned and what you need to do to fix it. And it'll tell you that you need to go to this section of your committee page to find the document. So normally, if it's a disclosure report, you're going to see that same grid where you can hit the little arrow and open it up, and you can click on the report. and it will actually open your web form report again for you to make any corrections to. It will also on the grid tell you the reason it was returned in case you weren't able to access your email again. All that information will be in there for you. So then that's that section. When you do submit a report, you can always look under this document submitted pending SOS action, so you can see. So once you submit your report, if you're just, we don't have anything that says your report's been received by the Secretary of State's office or your report's been filed. You can always go to this section of your page and see what has been submitted if you're just unsure. If you start a report and you don't have time to finish it and submit it, you just save it. This is where you will have to go back to open that report again. A lot of folks, you start your report, you get pulled away to do something else, so you save it. When those treasurers come back, they try to go up to this section to find their report. And then they'll find that instead of this button being green, it'll be grayed out. So then they're typically confused as to now where's their report, what's happened to it. So you just need to remember you go to this section of the campaign finance reporting system to find your unsubmitted report. Okay, so let's get into actually filing a pre-general report. When you have a report due, you will always see a button in this area and it will tell you what the report is. So in this case, it's a pre-general. Other times, obviously, committees will have a pre-primary or a year-end. So if you don't have a button here, that means you do not have to file a report. All committees will be filing a pre-general report. And that is roughly 567 committees will be filing. If you're new to the system, please don't wait till the day before the deadline to file your report. The majority of committees do wait until that last week, the last week before the deadline to file. And, with anything in life, when you wait till the last minute, you have problems. When you're rushing, you have problems. So we recommend, if you're certain that you have all of your expenditures and contributions are ready, to get in there and get your report filed that as soon as you can. That way you aren't trying to contact our office on the deadline day, and you, along with 150 other committees, trying to file that day. That just makes it really hard for us to be able to give people the time they need for assistance. So if you can do it ahead of time, and then I think that's a good option for you. You should always be able to file a termination report if you choose. There are certain situations where this button here will be grayed out, and that would be if you've updated a statement of organization and we haven't approved it yet, or you've submitted your pre-general and we haven't approved it yet. You can't do any other filings if you've submitted something to our office and we haven't approved it yet. You can only do one thing at a time, just in case whatever you're filing pertains to the next filing that you would need to do. So let's click on this here, and it's going to open up the web form. Now, notice again, I'm still in my test committee. This should always say your committee name. It shouldn't change unless you've actually come over and logged out. So this is the web form. The committee information page is information that is pulled directly from your statement of organization. So if for some reason your treasurer has changed and you want that to reflect on your report, you have to change your statement of organization first. Once you open this report and start it, you aren't going to be able to make any changes to this committee page because it's pulled from the current statement of organization on file at the time that you open your report. So if you do want to change a treasurer and you want it to reflect on here, like I said, you have to go and update your statement of organization first. Get that filed with us, we approve it, and then you'll be able to go and open your report, and the treasurer's name should have changed to whatever you updated it to. So none of the information on this page can change. This is just an information page to show you what, your first page of your report will have on it. Okay. So there's two areas that you can enter information into. There's income and there's expenditures. And these categories are the same exact categories that you would see on a paper report. So you just hover over income or you hover over expenditures, and then you come down and you select the section that you want to enter information into. So for income, let's just go to direct contributions of individuals. And please remember that if it seems slow from section to section, it is saving your information. So have patience, don't get click happy. Don't try to click on it multiple times. Don't come up and hit the back arrow. All of those things end up just causing issues for your report filing. Just have patience. Take your hand off the mouse. Don't click anything. Just wait. Okay. So let's just say I had 1,000 unitemized contributions. And then I'm going to go and enter, I got a contribution from Tom Smith. Now, if you're a committee that actually has multiple filings already online, you filed through the system, in this drop down, you will see names autofill in there, and those will be names of contributors that you've entered on previous reports. So you may be able to choose one of them if it's the same person that maybe contributed to you in 2018. Then it will autofill the address, city, state, everything that you had put on the report prior. And since I'm a new committee, I don't have anything in here, so we'll just get some information entered. We'll say 1,000. Okay. And just for the sake of time, I'm not going to type anymore, but I could. So if there's only 5 lines here, you can add lines. It's probably not going to let me because it did let me. So that's what add contribution is. It's actually add a line if you have additional ones that you want to enter there. Okay. If you realize you've entered someone that, that's not who that was, you can hit remove and it's going to take that name off of there. If by chance, and this is where we see it for sure, is with itemized contributions. If you have an Excel spreadsheet or some other method that you've kept track of your contributions, as long as you have all of this same information, the name, mailing address, and amount, you can actually select this box, this checkbox, that you will submit a spreadsheet to our office. So it will be your responsibility to remember to submit that spreadsheet to us. When you submit your report, we are alerted that you have checked this box and that we will not file your report until we have the additional documentation that you've said you're going to provide. Okay. So I've got 1,000 in itemized contributions there, and I've got 1,000 in unitemized contributions. Okay. So always throughout your web report, you can save and submit later. You can proceed to the final submission, or you can cancel and delete. I don't believe many people probably use the cancel and delete, but it's there as an option. We see a fair amount of folks start their report and then they don't have time to finish it, so they hit the save and submit later. And I'll actually do that here in a little bit and show you again where you, when you come back to, you want to come back and finish your report, where you can find that report at. So let's see, up here under income, I can go to another section. Now you don't have to have entries for every section. You just may only have entries for a few sections. So I'm going to say that I received some income from in-state political action committees. Okay. So here, all the political action committees I've registered with us are listed here for you to choose from. Now you can type your own, but they need to be PACs that have filed with our office. So if they're not in the drop down, then you probably should be finding out from that PAC what their name is. Sometimes we've heard that, you know, a PAC may contribute to a candidate, but the name on the check, like in the upper left-hand corner of the check, does not match anything in our PAC names. Well, they may use an abbreviation, various other methods of naming, or, you know, of what they've put in the upper left-hand corner of the check. So you will need to contact the PAC and find out what their name is so that you can list it appropriately on your report. We won't know that information of what name they've used. So I am going to just choose some PACs, and I'm gonna just enter some money here. Contribution, I'm just gonna select some more, and I'll do one more here. So this actually is very, very easy. You don't have to put a lot of effort into addresses and things like that. Whoops. When it comes to the PACs, entering PAC contributions. Again, this is another area where if you have a Excel spreadsheet because you've received a lot of PAC contributions, you can check this box, and then you have to submit that spreadsheet to us of all your PAC contributions. So again, PAC name, mailing address, and the amount is what you would have to include on your spreadsheet. So down here, it shows $1,750. And I just glance at this really quick. I'm assuming the system's going to add right, but there's glitches and things sometimes. So that is correct there. Other income, we do see some of the reports, and maybe more for like the political party committees, where they'll have a fundraiser. Like we could just do exactly what this example is. Fundraiser such as a dinner or something like that, and they sell raffle tickets, or they sell so it's not what you would consider a direct contribution from an individual. When someone buys a raffle ticket at a fundraiser, they're purchasing the ticket. They're not necessarily giving the money to the committee. They are, but it's just not the same as a campaign donation, so to speak. So you could enter that information here. Another one that we see in this area is dues. So let's see. party dues, and you can put dues and, $500 or something. Okay. And then if you add other income, that would just be when you want to add another line to, because you have more entries to make here. Okay. So that was easy enough. When you go to income again, if you have additional things that you want to enter, we will see definitely out-of-state or federal political action committees. And you will need to know the information for these. There is, since they don't register with our office, there's not a drop down to choose from. The biggest thing that we see, and the majority of federal PACs are almost always, I guess I'm not sure if I've heard of any that aren't, are filed with the Federal Elections Commission. Okay. So there's a little bit of additional reporting for these sort of PAC. So you have to have the name of the PAC, you have the mailing address, then you have to have the filing website address. So in this case, if it's a federal PAC, the filing website address would be fec.gov. Okay, again, not hard to put that in there. The filing office name, if it's a federal PAC, would be the Federal Elections Commission, or FEC. If we see blanks on your report in any of those two areas, we will return the report to you. It is your responsibility as a political committee to have all of the information to provide that is required by state law. Our office is not going to fill this information in, and we're not going to go search to see if a committee is what their filing website address is. That is your responsibility as the committee. Again, you can add lines by hitting add contribution. Okay. Some campaigns will have some sort of contribution or entry under all the income sections, and that's fine. Some of you maybe will only have it under 2 sections. Again, that's fine as well. So let's look at and I didn't listen to my own rule. Hover over this and then choose. So the majority of you should all probably have an entry to make under operational expenditures. So this is just basically practically any expenditure that you may make. And you can go and look here. You can see in the red lettering, you cannot use miscellaneous expense. That is prohibited specifically in state law. We've put some examples here that you can choose from. You can also just type in your own words. If you want to put political consulting instead of just consulting, you can do that. You do not have to put a description unless you want to. Perfectly fine to do so. And this is where you list the amount that you spent. Okay, so maybe I had some travel. I want to put travel to events. And I'm going to put 250. And we'll do one more here. If you had any bank fees, you might want to put those. Okay, so those are my expenditures. Again, you can add lines for additional rows that you need to make entries, which you probably will need to add those, more than likely. So it totaled it correctly. Go back up here and hover over expenditures, and you can see the other options. So we do see things here where committees donate to other committees, and this is where you would list the committee you contributed to. So, any of these, you can just choose. You gave to AGC, and you would just list the amount. that you did. And again, you choose from all the committees that are filed with our office, and those are the ones that would be listed. And you can just make a selection. Okay, so other expenditures are the independent communication expenditures. Now, an entity or an individual has to file a separate document regarding these, but any political committee would file these within their report itself. So this is a communication that you've put out there to support a candidate, whether you've made it in consultation with the candidate or not, or ballot measure. And this is where you would list the name of the committee or the name of the candidate or even a current elected official, and you would describe your communication. So I'll just put, let's see, Sam Smith, newspaper ad. The date that it went out was, let's see, I think I have to, oops, got ahead of myself there. On the 1st and 2020, the estimated cost of it, and we'll just say that's $150. All right. Now you are required to report these on this report. And that's an easy way for you guys. This communication expenditures, this is a whole form that entities and individuals have to fill out. All right, so we've entered everything we need to. You can click on this summary page to take a look at everything. Make sure that you're not negative, which I'm negative. I wasn't even paying attention to that. So my ending balance down here is showing a negative amount, which it can't, because you can't spend money that you don't have. So I need to go back to income, and I forgot to enter some contribution amounts. So I forgot $3,000 of contributions. So we'll go back to the summary. And you saw how it was a little bit slow there. That's because it's saving. Okay, so now things are looking right here. I've got $1,800 left. Okay. So I feel pretty comfortable with this, but it's 2 weeks before the deadline to file. So I'm just going to save it in case I get a contribution or two in the next week or so. So I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to hit save and submit later. Now it's asking me, am I sure I want to do this? And then it tells me where the form's going to be at. This form will be located in the documents created but unsubmitted section. Okay, so I hit OK. Now it's saving as it indicates down here. So it takes me back to my committee page. All right, and it should be under this section. And there it is. So it shows that my starting balance, my ending balance, the date that I created this, and if I decide when I want to come back to it that I just need to start over, I would click on this X, this red X. You can delete the report and then start over. But let's just jump ahead and pretend that it's 10 days in the future and I'm ready to file it. I'm going to click select for review. And I'm going to just double check one more time. Nothing changed. It shouldn't have. But again, can always be a glitch of some sort that we don't, can't explain with technology. But so now we're ready. Okay, so I'm going to click on proceed to final submission. Now, this is asking me to double check. Am I sure I'm ready to file this? Okay. There will be another screen, and that's what this is explaining. It will not be submitted until you review and submit it from the disclosure review page. So we're not there yet, but we're close. So it's going to take you, once you hit yes, then it's going to take you to one more page that you have to take some steps on. So you can see again, it's saving. Okay, so this is the fraud statement essentially. And we ask that you read that. And then you would have to check this box. If you don't check this box, this submit button will stay grayed out. You have to check the box. Now you see how the submit button is green now. Okay, so on here, if you want to, you can download this, you can print it. I don't really know why you would want to at that point. It doesn't have any of the received stamp on it or filed stamp by our office. But if you're just concerned that it's not gonna, you're gonna lose it, so to speak, which you won't, but if that's just how you feel, you can do that. But this is a place too where you just can, you have the opportunity to review your report again. Just because that's how you are and you want to look at it one more time. Perfectly fine to do. So you're ready, you think it's good, you hit submit. So at this point it says your disclosure has been successfully submitted. You do not need to do anything else. Okay, so in this section, documents submitted pending SOS office action. Now you'll see it is submitted. There's a PDF of the file. It says the date and time that you submitted it. Okay. So then I can show you from our side of things what we do. We get an email that tells us that you have filed your report. Okay. So we are, especially when we get close to the report filing, we are in this all the time, waiting for reports to come in so we can review them. So this is our administrative page. And trying to see, oh, no, I don't want this one. Sorry, this is not the test site. I need the test site. Okay. Try it again here. And it might take a little bit because the test site's always slower than the live site. Okay, so now we're in the test site and we can see that this is the grid that we see. So whenever we get close to a deadline, this is where reports are going to show up, and that's going to tell us we might have 10 in the queue that we need to look at. Since we're on the pre-general, it's going to show the pre-general. So we see that your committee is submitted. You've got an ending balance that's positive. This is the date that you submitted it. This is that area where I said that if you want to submit an Excel spreadsheet for your all your contributors, this box will be checked, telling us that you need additional documentation, and we will watch for that. So we go and we select it for review, and we're looking through and we're just glancing really fast to see if there's any blanks, you know, or if there's an amount entered, you know, that has no data with it. Well, something's not right there. There has to be information. Those are mostly the things that we're looking for. We can return it. This is that return for submission, return for revision section. And this is where we would type the reason. You know, we might say you have a total dollar amount of $2,000 listed under contributions from political parties, but you haven't listed a political party to go with that contribution. Please correct this and resubmit, is kind of along the lines of what we'll say. Okay. So we're still on the admin side. This is what we do. A lot of them are easily approved. And there you go. The report's been approved. Now you can see that's no longer anything in our queue. Okay, so we wait for the next report filing. But we can go out, and in the meantime, your treasurer's email will get an email to it saying the report's been filed, and there will be attached a PDF of the report. And then you can go back to your committee page now, and you can look under filed documents. Well, I'm going to have to refresh. I probably should have logged out, and I'm going to log back in here. Trying to get it. And I'll be able to show you just one more thing, and we're just the video is just about done. Okay, so I'm logged back into my page. You can see there's my committee name. Now it is showing that my treasurer's name. It is also showing that my ending balance. So, and under file disclosures, now it shows my report. Again, this stuff looks fine. This is the date that it was approved by the Secretary of State's office. I can click here and I can look at a PDF of the report. I can print it. I can just download it to my computer. I have all the access to all of that information. All right, so once you've filed your pre-general, you're done. We don't need anything further from you as far as the pre-general report filing goes. So you can log out of your committee page. Waiting for it. There we go. Now, a supplemental report is a report that if you receive $500 or more 20 days, within the 20 days prior to an election, you have to file a supplemental report. Because the reporting period for any campaign finance report ends 20 days prior to an election. So if people wait to contribute within those 20 days, there will be no reporting of that contribution. And for the sake of transparency, these supplemental reports were created by the legislature and required to be filed. So anything over $500, you have to file on a supplemental report. Now I got ahead of myself and I should have stayed logged in so I can show you exactly where you file those from your committee page. All right, so back on my committee page, test committee, sorry, too click happy here. Okay, so file a new supplemental report is where you would go. And then right now the dates for the supplemental report we're not close enough to the pre-general, so the supplemental report filing is not open yet, so to speak. We don't want anyone filing a supplemental prior to the first date that you can file that. It won't make a lot of sense compared to your disclosure reports. So you would be able to click on this. It will be green and it'll say file a new supplemental report. And the same thing, you'll have a button just like this, and it'll be a button that says supplemental report. And you'll click on it and a web form will open for you to fill out. It's a very short report, very easy to fill out and submit. And that's all you would have to do with those. Okay. I hope that we touched on everything and that this video assists you with being able to better understand the campaign finance reporting system and be able to get your report filed with without having a lot of frustrations of using a new system. Thank you.